But the reality is, we're all going to make mistakes, regardless of whether we actively make a decision or choose to just ignore it until it blows up. Um, we are all going to make mistakes. And so it's super important for us to have uh, a plan for addressing mistakes, for addressing failure. Because if we know that we have a plan in mind, we have a process to face failures, face mistakes head on, and keep moving forward, then it can reduce some of that fear of failure aspect. And so I have a process that I have used for years now. I will put a link to a freebie that you can get where you can just print out a checklist that I've created that kind of outlines this process. And so for me, the process for addressing failure has always been, when I realize that I've made a mistake, when I realize that I've really like messed something up, right? The first thing that I do is totally freak out. Okay. I completely freak out still. I get bombarded by the ridiculous shame storm of, oh my God, I'm terrible. I'm going to get fired. They're going to hate me. I suck at my job. Okay. I do experience that every single time. So, since I know it's going to happen, I will contact the people who are very close to me that I know I can trust. And I call them up and I say, listen, I'm in the middle of a shame storm. I am having a really difficult time processing this. I made a mistake. Can you just help me process through this? And we talk for a little bit, and actually just verbalizing it and sharing it with somebody else helps calm those feelings down. It releases them some so that I can actually think clearly. Um, so if you experience those emotions, know that it's perfectly normal. Do reach out to somebody who cares about you, name it, own it, and then that will kind of release some of the power that it has over you. So once I'm in a mindset where I can think clearly again, I go through a process and I say, okay, first of all, what do I know about what happened? Like, what did I do? What was the actual, like, what was the outcome? And what was the outcome supposed to be? Like, what was I trying to accomplish and what happened instead? Then I try to identify what exactly went wrong, if I'm able to. And so now, I know what I was trying to do, what happened instead, what went wrong. Then I try to identify any potential solutions. Now, usually at this point, you're definitely going to need to bring some other people involved if it's like a work situation or depending on the issue, if it's a personal situation, right? So you need to identify who are the people that I need to talk to? Who are the people that I need to ask for help? Who are the people that I need more information from? Who are the people that this mistake impacts that I need to notify and let them know, like, this is what happened? Um, and so identifying those people. And once I've identified those people, usually I do also try to determine at that point, what could I have done differently, right? Like, what am I going to do in the future to keep from making the same mistake again? If I'm able to identify that on my own, I try to have that identified. Then I go and talk to those people, right? So I go to my boss and I said, look, I really screwed something up. Here's what happened. Um, here's the consequence. Here's the outcome of what's going on. I think maybe we could do this to fix it, but I'm not sure. I need some help on this. Um, and then I'm in a position to also be able to tell my boss or my loved one or whatever, here is what I have determined I need to do in order for this to not happen again. Right. And then you have the opportunity to discuss that as well, because they may have some insight or some perspective that they can lend to that to say, oh, what's worked for me is to do this or whatever. So the point is this: have a plan. We all F up. Like, we all do. It is going to happen. You are going to come across a time where you jack something up and you sit there for a hot minute and think, oh my God, I am so effing stupid. I cannot believe that I did this. And you can get stuck in that place, or you can have a plan to get yourself out of that place and move forward productively.